Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is Wednesday, the 31st day of January. It's Appreciate Your Social Security Check Day. I don't have one of those.
I don't either. Not yet.
But somebody somewhere should appreciate that. Brandy Alexander Day today. Eat Brussels sprouts day. Are you a Brussels sprouts fan?
No.
I've only had them one time in my
tried.
life, and it was not really for me, but somebody said, oh, this is what you got to
Yeah,
do.
you got to
So,
deep fat fry them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Gorilla Suit Day today. You ever know anybody that owned a gorilla suit?
No.
I knew a guy with a business that had a gorilla suit. It was part of his marketing. I thought it was the dumbest thing, but he's like, oh, that thing has made me so much money. I'm like, okay, you do you, man. It is also Hug an Economist Day, International Zebra Day, National Backwards Day, National Hot Chocolate Day, National Inspire Your Heart with Art Day. It is National Plan for Vacation Day.
Always a good day to plan
We
for
should
a
do that.
vacation.
And it is Scotch Tape Day today. All of that. And I've got a guest joining me on the program. I have Mark Critch. He's got a TV program called Son of a Critch. It's now going to be on the CW as well. Going to chat with him all about that coming up.
Give yourself a little credit.
I've been telling you about BetterCreditCards.com for a few years now. I'd love for you to take a few minutes today to check out the website. Who knows? You might find a better credit card, one that offers a better rate, or a credit card that offers cash back, airline miles, or other points and perks that can help you. Check it out now.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to BetterCreditCards.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Lately, we've been hearing more and more about the possible negative effects, physical effects of drinking alcohol. With that in mind, a new study suggests a solution to ending problem drinking. It could be as simple as a smaller glass.
Oh.
Yeah. Researchers from Cambridge conducted a study with 21 pubs and bars in the UK where they removed the option of serving wine in large glasses. What they discovered was eliminating the larger glass option resulted in an average decrease of alcohol, under 8%. So, I don't know. Does that seem...
Well, it makes sense, especially if you're in a pub, because then you're buying more glasses, which is
Yeah.
more expensive. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Despite the reduction, pub owners did not suffer financially because the smaller glasses gave them a higher profit margin. There was no corresponding increase in beer or cider sales, so it's not like they drank more of something else. They were saying it indicated that people didn't compensate for their decreased wine consumption by drinking something else. 8% reduction in wine sales seems pretty modest, but researchers say by removing the largest serving size, it could be an effective strategy to encourage customers to drink less alcohol. So, interesting stuff. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Insurance. It's important to have insurance, but it's more important to have the right insurance. After all, if you're not covered, it's like not even having insurance. Make sure you're covered for whatever claim might come your way with InsuranceChicken.com, helping you peck out great insurance deals in your area. You need insurance on your car anyway. Why not get great rates for great insurance from InsuranceChicken.com? That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know a recent survey found that many believe eating healthy during the day gives us a hall pass to indulge at night? Well, that's not a good way to look at it. 2,000 U.S. residents found an average person overdoses in unhealthy food 3 nights a week. 6 in 10, 62%, said they've always sacrificed taste over nutritional value when it comes to snacks. Snacks are considered a must for 83% of people.
Yeah, I used to be that way.
And they say they need at least 2 snacks a day. So I can see where that would happen, and I can certainly say I've done more than my fair of snacking. But I've also lately been snacking a whole lot less. I've been trying really hard to snack less. All right, we don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Dakota Johnson is setting her alarm and setting the record straight after making headlines for seemingly saying she needs to get 14 hours of sleep every night. So that is kind of taken out of context. She said, I said that I could easily sleep 14 hours. I don't demand it. She goes, I'm not a monster. I have a job. So apparently she said somewhere that she could sleep 14 hours, and everybody's like,
I could sleep 14 hours
did you hear?
a night.
She has
could.
to sleep 14 hours every night. No, it's not. She's like, I'm literally saying I could. I think most of us could. An Australian police department has jokingly investigated Margot Robbie's Oscar snub. So the whole Barbie thing.
Yeah.
Now it's turned into quite the thing on the internet. But there's a group over in Australia that decided to have some fun with it. She was born in Queensland, failed to land a nomination in the Best Actress category at the Academy Awards, while co-star Ryan Gosling did get a nod. Alongside a collage of photos, the police wrote, "Police are investigating after a former resident of Ramsay Street allegedly was robbed of an Oscar nomination for Best Actress." So I think that's kind of fun, that they're at least having a little bit of fun with it. So, all right, big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com.
What could you do with an extra $129 a month? In this economy, every penny counts. So an extra $129 each month would absolutely help. Well, 97% of us have a cell phone, and the average person pays $144 a month. Mint Mobile can help you save a mint. At just $15 a month, that's an average savings of $129 each month. It's time for a Mintervention. Switch and save today. Get this special offer at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Lindsay Lohan turned down an offer from Dancing with the Stars because she says she, quote, doesn't want to do reality TV, end quote.
I get that.
Is that reality TV, though? Is that?
It's reality.
I suppose.
Yeah.
It's more of a contest, like almost like a game show to me. But I suppose, yeah, it is officially reality TV. And we're going to move on to this. This will be our next story, and probably the only story we'll get to, because I want to chat about this. A 20-year-old amateur golfer recently won a PGA Tour event, but he's not allowed to collect the $1.5 million prize. Did you hear about this?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So Sunday, I think it was a week ago Sunday, Nick Dunlap, he's a sophomore who plays golf for the University of Alabama, came out on top at the PGA West golf course in La Quinta, California. His score of 29 under par was one stroke better than the professional who was on the tour, but he will not be able to take home the $1.512 million prize because he's not a professional. He's an amateur.
Oh, man.
That means the guy who came in second gets the first place prize. Dunlap is the first amateur to win a PGA Tour event since 1991, when there was somebody else who did this same type of thing on the Tucson Open. You know who that was?
No.
A little amateur in 1991 who was playing golf with all the pros, and he did okay. His name, Phil Mickelson.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I have a feeling, just like a lot of people know the name Phil Mickelson now, he went on to be a professional golfer, by the way, for those of you who don't know that name. I got a feeling Nick Dunlap will probably, I don't know if you say Dunlap or Dunlap. I've heard it said both ways.
That even sounds like a professional golfer's name, doesn't
Nick
it?
Dunlap. Yeah. And I just, again, no matter what, even though it stinks that he didn't win the money, it'd be cool if the dude who did win the money was like, I'm going to give you a little some of this since you beat me and all. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-310-5831. 800-310-5831. That's 800-310-5831.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Very funny stand-up comic joining us today, Mark Critch. He's got a program called Son of a Critch. It's been very popular in Canada. Now it's on the CW as well. Mark, where'd this idea come from?
Well, I've written a book about growing up in a place called St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada. And if people don't know where that is, it's about as far east as you can go. It's a little island off the coast of Canada. People may know it from the Broadway musical Come From Away. And anyway, it's about my life growing up there in the 80s. I was the son of older parents. My dad was a radio morning news guy, and we lived next to the radio station. If he was a lighthouse keeper, the lighthouse would have been a radio station. We were way on the outskirts. So I was bussed into this school with all really tough school with all these kids who I didn't know. So I always think of it as the house is the Starship Enterprise, the school is the planet that we beam down to, and then I go back. So it's about an outsider, a kid, trying to make his way and find out who he is with a dream of becoming a comedian one day.
And congrats, that dream came true, didn't it?
It certainly did. Yeah, I went on to become a comedian here in Canada. I've been hosting a show here for 21 years, kind of like a Daily Show / Saturday Night Live type thing. And I wrote a book about my life and growing up, and we created this TV show. So now in its third season here on the CW, and I couldn't be more excited to see how it goes in the beautiful USA.
Now, this is based on your childhood. How true is it? Is it pretty close to the real story?
A lot of it is reality. I always say the spine of every episode is true. So the story I'm telling, we'll sit at the start of the season. I'll pick like 13 memories, basically. And then, you kind of match those with what was my brother going through at that time. Okay, there's that. Now, a lot, there is always stuff that you make up, and there'll be things that maybe have happened to me when I was in the 5th grade or the 11th grade that we've now made the 8th grade, that kind of a thing. And it's so funny because people will always say, oh, that couldn't have been true. And that's always the true part. It's because you can't beat, real life.
And I find it amazing that truth is usually stranger than fiction. Usually when you hear a story that just sounds made up, that's the true story.
100%. And some of the press, especially in the place where I grew up, are always something will happen on the show, and then they'll do a story about that actually happened, and they'll run their old news clips and things like that. Bizarre things, and that's a great part of it too. Is I think there's nostalgia for people my age. I'm 49 who grew up in the 80s, but also for these kids who are 12, 13, 14. They'll watch with their parents, and they'll kind of think of it as a show for them because it's about growing up. And they're like, okay, well, that happened to me. Whereas the parents will go, oh, I remember this as well. So there's different layers. But what I love about it is that, families can watch together.
Mark, you and I are pretty much the same age, and I can relate to all of the stuff you're talking about. And I think so many people can relate to that. We think about the good old days, whether they were good or not. But it's a time that we long for right now.
Oh, amen, John. Now I always wonder because I remember my parents growing up and longing for the 40s or and then people for the 50s. And when we grew up too, there was all that 1950s nostalgia, with American Graffiti and Happy Days and stuff like that. And now the 80s is much farther away than that was when we were kids. But I always wonder, is it rose-colored glasses when you look back? But I think there was, it's a different time. We didn't have these phones and the internet, and there was still a mystery. As I'm writing these stories, there's a mystery to the world that I think young people don't have. And I think that's something that's been a bit robbed from them, is that kind of finding things out for yourself and not knowing everything right away. And the more of that mystery, especially about, matters of the heart and romance and things like that. So it's a really a warm, fuzzy kind of a show and gives you, it can be, pretty funny, but also has a lot of heart in it.
I was recently talking to my kids. They're in their 20s. I talked about how I grew up in an age of wonder. They don't have to wonder about anything. Any answer they want, they can find in a couple of clicks on the internet. We didn't have the internet. We had encyclopedias, and ours are usually outdated.
Yeah, we only had the encyclopedia up to the letter D because that's when the supermarket stopped giving them out for free, and then you had to buy the next set. So I could tell you everything about a cornucopia, but nothing about any other letters. But yeah, that's so true, and it's hard for parents too because now your kids know everything. And there was a time you'd ask your dad, "Oh, how does this work?" or "Dad, when did this happen?" And he could just make stuff up.
Yeah,
and you'd never know. But now they're so smart.
Absolutely. Again, Mark Critch has been our guest, son of a Critch on the CW. Can people watch from the very first episode, or how is that going to work, Mark?
Well, right now, season 3 is premiering. Season 1 and 2 have already aired, but you can catch it all on the CW streaming app or on their website. You can see the whole thing.
Very nice. So we can start from the beginning. Mark, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, John. It's been a real joy talking to you.
Again, Mark Critch, son of a Critch on the CW. All of the details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Give yourself a little credit.
I've been telling you about BetterCreditCards.com for a few years now. I'd love for you to take a few minutes today to check out the website. Who knows? You might find a better credit card, one that offers a better rate, or a credit card that offers cash back, airline miles, or other points and perks that can help you. Check it out now.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to BetterCreditCards.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Dolphins literally sleep with one eye open because only one brain hemisphere sleeps at a time. So they shut off half their brain and keep the other half on, and then they shut off the other half.
That's pretty cool.
I feel like I do that once in a while. I mean, live with half my brain turned off. All right. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Since 1945, all British tanks come with a T pot inside, tea making equipment
Oh,
in the
that's
tank.
nice for them.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Originally, vacuum cleaners were horse-drawn. Yeah, a horse-drawn buggy would announce to all of the neighborhood that you were having special treatment done. Great advertising. So they would pull up and they would have the vacuum outside and there's a hose that would go in. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Giraffes are 30 times more likely to be hit by lightning than people. It's
I suppose because they're taller.
Yeah, so much taller. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The word yo was first introduced in the 15th century. Yo. Y-O. And speaking of yo, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Yoda was almost played by a monkey. Really? Yeah. I think that's pretty cool. Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Insurance. It's important to have insurance, but it's more important to have the right insurance. After all, if you're not covered, it's like not even having insurance. Make sure you're covered for whatever claim might come your way with InsuranceChicken.com, helping you peck out great insurance deals in your area. You need insurance on your car anyway. Why not get great rates for great insurance from InsuranceChicken.com? That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com. Question for you, Heidi. 10% of people believe that having one of these makes them seem more attractive to the opposite sex.
Oh, geez.
What is it? It's something that we have. What is it?
I honestly, a hot tub?
No, a cute dog.
Oh.
Yeah, 10% of people believe having a cute dog will make them more attractive to the opposite sex. That's why I fell for Heidi, because of her cute puppy. No, she didn't have a cute puppy at the time. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com.
What could you do with an extra $129 a month? In this economy, every penny counts. So an extra $129 each month would absolutely help. Well, 97% of us have a cell phone, and the average person pays $144 a month. Mint Mobile can help you save a mint. At just $15 a month, that's an average savings of $129 each month. It's time for a Mintervention. Switch and save today. Get this special offer at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Officials at the British Zoo say that a group of foul-mouthed parrots that were isolated from the rest of the flock are now being moved back in with the rest of the chatty birds in hopes of cleaning up their language.
I love this so much.
I'll bet that's not going to work, by the way. The Lincolnshire Wildlife Park famously received 5 African gray parrots from different owners in 2020. The new arrivals spent their time in quarantine teaching each other a variety of profanities. The birds were removed from the rest of the zoo's flock to keep them from teaching bad words to dozens of other parrots. Well, now, the recent arrival of 3 more potty-mouth parrots led operators to make the decision to pull all 8 of them, all of these cussing birds, in the hopes of they're going to pull them all in with the rest of the birds, hoping that it's going to make it all go away. I think it's going to get way worse.
Now all the birds are going to start talking like that.
The chief executive of the park said keepers are in hopes the swearing parrots will learn better etiquette from the rest of the flock. Yeah, instead of the other way around. Yeah, that's probably not going to work. They say we might end up with 100 swearing parrots on our hands. Well, pretty
you
sure.
just might.
Pretty sure we'll have an update soon. Weird news comes your way, courtesy of WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Strangest things left in hotel rooms. We've all left something in a hotel room from here and there. And a lot of the most common things are like charging cables for your phone and reading glasses. Well, here are the strangest things, according to EasyJet. It's a European hotel network. So rosary beads. I don't know why that's strange.
Oh.
Caviar. Yeah, that's a little strange. An inflatable boat. Okay. Number 7, a clown costume. 6, thousands of German mark coins stashed behind a toilet. Wow. Somebody left their loot. Number 5, grandma's lucky teacup. Number 4, somebody left their glass eye. Apparently several...
you'd think you'd notice the glass eye.
Several people apparently left prosthetic limbs. How do you not remember that?
Right.
Witchcraft paraphernalia came in number 2. I don't know why that's not number 1. That should be the weirdest thing. And the number 1 strangest thing left behind are dentures.
You'd notice your dentures weren't on.
Weirder than...
That is strange.
All right. Strange things left in hotel rooms. It's the list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-310-5831. 800-310-5831. That's 800-310-5831.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Our quote today is from Marcus Aurelius, who said, "Take a good hard look at people's ruling principle, especially of the wise, what they run away from and what they seek out." Marcus Aurelius. Okay. He's got a lot of great quotes. By the way, if that one does not sound familiar, it's because that is from a different batch of quotes.
It's a new one.
I didn't want Heidi telling me.
How exciting.
I didn't want Heidi going, snooze fest. I've heard this one before. So there we go. Different quote today.
Funny.
Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. Take a listen to this, Heidi. New York City partners with RIP Medical Debt to wipe out $2 billion with a B in medical debt.
How beautiful
I
is
love this.
that?
Now, we have talked about this over and over and over, how much we love this. And I would love to find somebody we could partner with to do that, like everywhere. I mean, this would be so cool. I don't have enough to wipe out even my own medical debt. So I probably am not going to be the guy. But if this will inspire you to do this around here, I think that would be amazing. And then we could be reading a cool story about you.
That would be so fantastic.
New York City is aiming to wipe out over $2 billion in medical debt for up to 500,000 residents. Mayor Eric Adams and the Commissioner of New York Department of Health made the announcement last week. They've showcased a commitment to alleviate the financial strain on working-class New Yorkers.
Beautiful.
This pioneering initiative, backed by an $18 million investment over 3 years, addresses the pressing issue of medical debt, which stands as the primary cause of bankruptcy in the United States. Strategic partnership with RIP Medical Debt, a national nonprofit based in New York City, aims to acquire and eliminate the medical debt from healthcare providers and hospitals throughout the 5 boroughs of New York City. 500,000 New Yorkers will benefit from this one-time debt relief, marking the program as the largest municipal initiative of its kind in the entire country. Importantly, affected individuals will be notified without need for an application, and that'll streamline the process.
Love it.
Their program is set to launch in early 2024, and it's going to run for 3 years as they're going through and acquiring and wiping out medical debt.
Love it.
So this is a really cool program. And like I said, I have looked into it in the past to see how does this work and how could you do this? And it's not because I have like a bunch of money that I want to do, but I was like, I want to talk people into doing this.
Exactly.
Because how
people
cool
who
would
have
that
the
be?
means.
Yeah, I don't have the means. But if you do, all of the details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.